Man, listen, I can't wait to get to this next video, bro, because, man, it's just been one of those days, you know what I mean, where you need to be distracted. Your mind is getting the best of you. It's all over the place. We had a situation in the city yesterday where we had an active you know, I can't say it because they, you know what I mean? But you can understand, you read my lips of what I'm saying. We had one of those here in the city yesterday, and it had everyone on edge. You know, you start to think about things, if you have kids or children or stuff, they're outside or they're out doing things, and people just, it's just crazy in the world right now. So trust me, when y'all be hitting me up talking about, listen, man, appreciate the videos. It's therapeutic. It gets my mind off of things that's going on right now. Trust me, fam. I feel the same exact way, bro. Same exact way. I be needing this too. All right. So listen, this video here, man, we have advanced pre-flood ruins possibly found in China. All right. So we're going to check this video out. If you're new, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, join the family, and hit that like button for more content. Let's check this out. Here we go.
Ancient Uparts are undoubtedly one of the most interesting subjects in regard to lost antiquities. Many of these artifacts, due to the locations in which they are found within, or the immense age displayed within the erosion seen upon the object, makes them
man-made iron hammer with handle in early Cretaceous rock, London, Texas. All right. And I know you see some of this, you start thinking about back to, okay, what could they have possibly used this for? You know what I mean? We talked about a lot of the designs on the stones and different things like that. And you want to know if, did they do the hand chisel with the hammer? Possibly. And if they did, that took a long time with some of the extensive things we've seen. So,
or the immense age displayed within the erosion seen upon the object makes them one of the most controversial areas of study. How can one answer the question of how an iron pod is found within a solid lump of coal within a seam over 300 million years in age? Or how the clear imprint of a chariot wheel is found fossilized deep within a mine in Russia? These artifacts, found at hundreds of feet deep in sediment, or displaying a wooden handle petrified into coal, display an undeniably immense age, and as such, are solid pieces of evidence to support our posit of there having been a series of now lost civilizations stretching far into the past. Nature is infamous in being cyclical. Why then would we not be permitted by mainstream academia to presume this be the case for the climates of the Earth as well? Regardless of this digression, however, the subject of tonight's video is an incredible artifact which we believe to be that of an ancient Upart. However, due to its incredible characteristic, is being masqueraded as that of a much later creation by a far more recent ancestor. Known as the Sword of Gujan, this intriguing artifact has somehow resisted the effects of time, and although it is enormously old, is seemingly as sharp and as shiny today as the day it was made. This remarkable characteristic, although unexplained, is not the only interesting thing about the sword. It also features an incredibly old form of writing. 8 characters are written in an ancient script, now known as bird-worm seal script, literally birds and worms characters. Owing to the intricate decorations of the defining strokes, it is very old and is attested to be a variant of seal script. In 1965, while an archaeological survey was being performed along the second main aqueduct of the Zhang River Reservoir in Jingzhou, Hubei, the series of ancient tombs were discovered. A dig started in the middle of October 1965, ending in January 1966, eventually revealing more than 50 ancient tombs. More than 2,000 artifacts were recovered from the sites, including the sword, having been found inside a casket together with a human skeleton. The casket was discovered in the December of 1965 at the Wangshan Site No. 1, 7 kilometers from the ruins of Ying, currently called Jinnishang.
Now my question is, we've heard them talk about, you know, animals and different things being buried, jewels, different things. The sword and all of this stuff was to help them, I guess, proceed forward or guide them through the afterlife. You know what I mean? Animals, different things. So what is the sword for? Was it to protect them, for them to try to protect themselves headed to the afterlife, or when they got there somewhere? I don't know. I've never really heard them discuss in depth what they possibly think was the meaning of them burying the sword with them. You know what I mean? Maybe it was to identify. Different swords identified who you were. So when you got to the afterlife, maybe possibly you held that same status of where you were in the ranks before you passed away. You know what I mean? And this could be far from the truth, or it could be spot on. We don't know. But this is just some of the things to think about, though.
7 kilometers from the ruins of Ying, currently called Jinnishang, once the ancient capital of Chu. The sword was found sheathed in a wooden scabbard, finished in black lacquer. The scabbard had an almost airtight fit with the sword body. Unsheathing the sword revealed an untarnished blade, despite the tomb being soaked in underground water for over 2,000 years. How did this sword retain its incredible condition? Why does it seem as if it is resistant to aging? What sort of metallurgy did the swordsmith once use to create such an amazing object?
Right.
It is clearly an ancient part, and one we postulate has an origin now hidden within the bowels of history. It is a remarkable thing, and as such, is highly compelling.
You ever watch one of those videos of them making swords? Bro, that's one of the coolest videos to check out. I'm telling you. You ever come across those on like Facebook or something where you're scrolling and you get stuck on one of them videos for 20-something minutes because they making something and it just captures? I watched somebody make a sword one day, fam, and I'm telling you, bro, it'll get you hooked. It made me think I could do it.
In our previous video, we presented a hypothesis, a theory believed by many, one of a now lost or possibly hidden race of ancient giants. Surprisingly, however, recently, although China is seen as an infamously secretive country, with many tombs and ancient pyramids of gargantuan proportions rarely aerial photographed, let alone explored, it seems that they have, at last, stolen the archaeological world stage with the announcement of a discovery which we may relish, but those whom these remains rest just beyond the clutches of, we would presume rather get a hold of themselves to study and then store away in hidden archives, far from public view, an ongoing effort we have personally read of, dating back to the early 1900s. An ancient graveyard, complete with over 500 giant human remains, has not only been accidentally discovered, but publicly exhumed, and most crucial of all, photographed for all the world to see within China. Could this be a retaliatory move with other motives at play? If our previously mentioned theory is true, it would enable man to explain the inexplicably, seemingly impossible size of many of the world's megaliths, and indeed still standing megalithic structures of the world. How a pyramidal, treasury, and many other ancient architectures, lintels, and top stones, often weighing many hundreds of tons, were not only transported from quarries many hundreds of miles, but placed aloft many meters with seeming ease. Furthermore, we have in the past not only postulated and have also presented reams of witness testimony and photographic corroboration, still to be found in newspaper archives across the Western world, describing these finds, but also the Smithsonian's efficiency in not only dealing with the matter, but disappearance of any further reporting, thus expiration. This also supporting the reason for lost pieces of the puzzle, which is inhibiting us from unlocking the secrets to these sites' construction. Perhaps we may never know the true motivations for such a controversial exposure in China, but nonetheless, the resulting fallout of proof presented for our community is a step closer to the truth, the untangling of a tired and tangled web of lies in which many have weaved. For at the bottom of Pandora's box,
I think that's the nice way to put it. They said it so eloquently, you know what I mean?
the untangling of a tired and tangled web of lies in which many have weaved. For at the bottom of Pandora's box, there is always hope.
The Etruscans, they laid the underground sewers in the city of Rome. So what we possibly looking at here is an underground sewer, right? Anybody ever been in the underground sewer? I haven't. I've been in confined spaces before, but not in no underground sewer before. I don't think I can recall myself. It said this one was in the city of Rome around 500 BC. Let's see. It said the tunnels below city streets were built of finely carved stones, and the Romans were happy to utilize them when they took over the city. It says such structures became the norm in many cities throughout the Roman world. Wow. Water manipulation, masters of water manipulation. What though? Says pipes found in Beijing, China, have been rumored to be alien artifacts. So what we looking here possibly is some alien artifacts. It says early analysis showed mineral content similar to smelt metal, except the pipes were in areas where the technology had never been reported. The pipes are similar to the Navajo pipes in the southwestern United States. Those are naturally occurring. So the pipes might also be, but the Chinese have not let them be studied further yet. They're a good tourist attraction. Definitely looks weird. You know what I mean? Definitely looks weird. The type of pipes though, what they were used for. So what we're possibly looking at here is a 150,000-year-old pipe. Sheesh. That's what some of our pipes are. When I'm up north, this is the type of pipes. Now, I used to work with a guy who worked on like the pipes at like a paper mill, and he would go down and the ones that ran up to like the post indicator valves and stuff like that, he would work on those, and when he would pull them out, you would see them. It would kind of look like that. So you can understand why some of the water, they'd be like, hey man, be careful. That's a pipe there? For what though? It says some researchers, as we have ourselves concluded, that the pipes were somehow left over by a prehistoric civilization. That's just, really? I would have thought that was just stone. We find the results highly compelling. ain't. I was about to say that's the end of the video. No, it's not.
Phoenix Hill, Xianbeiqun, China. In 1994, an extremely mysterious discovery would be made. Considered by the Chinese as the 9th ancient wonder of the world. A series of 24 ancient, artificial caves were discovered. Specialists have been quietly astounded by them. And the more we learn, the more of a spectacular and mysterious achievement they are seen to be. The first thing that struck explorers was their size. Each cave has a minimum floor space of 1,000 square feet, an unimaginable undertaking at the time they were thought to have been constructed.
Now, this one here, not so much, but the first one they showed, this one here, only thing I could think about was, all right, it looks really, really sturdy. It looks like it's firm, it can hold. It don't look like, it makes me think like earthquakes. Could this sustain an earthquake? Now, it's probably been around long enough that it has sustained and stuff like that, but you can't tell me that don't pop in your mind and think, wow.
Officially dated prior to the dynasties of China, which began 3,000 years ago, meaning they are very, very old. The walls of the caves are scarred with strange uniform tool marks. The weird thing about the markings is that they are all set on a 60-degree angle. Every single chisel mark within the cave system without exception is on an exact 60-degree cutting angle. This has led many to suspect that the caves must have somehow been dug using advanced machinery. However, because this feature is unique within our current knowledge of ancient structures, the angle of cutting could indeed have been made by hand, with the purpose of decoration, but this would have made the job of cutting them out even more laborious. Additionally, once the caves had been assessed and explored, a remarkable thing was realized. Although the caves were the result of excavating thousands and thousands of tons of rock, this rock seems to have vanished from existence. There is no trace of a spoil pile anywhere to be seen. It is as if the caves have always been there. No traces of their construction has ever been found anywhere, no cave writings, drawings, tools, or human remains, and nothing within historical records. The cave's construction simply doesn't make sense, and any evidence for their construction doesn't exist. Add to this the fact that the cave systems predate Chinese civilization by some time, and show evidence of being cut out by machine.
But a lot of things from back then to us don't make sense. But then you have to pose the question, is it supposed to? It wasn't built to make sense to us. It was supposed to make sense to them. So when you make a statement like that, I'm kind of like, it wasn't supposed to. You know what I mean? They wasn't doing this stuff with us in mind. No.
The Long U caves undoubtedly become a curiosity to scientific explanation and historical understanding, to say the least. These remarkable caves are a very strong and solid piece of evidence to suggest that advanced cultures have already been and gone on this planet, or that visitors of extraterrestrial origin visited the planet prior to human development. As far as I am aware, these are the only two possible scenarios for the builders of such a construction. The cave systems are well over 3,000 years old and still intact. Whoever was capable of constructing them was also capable of disposing of the huge mountains of rock that would have been excavated without leaving any evidence of how they did this, or indeed built the caves anywhere. The caves are known as one of the largest underground complexes ever discovered. The fact that more is not heard about this wonderful place is testament to their extraordinary existence, meaning no one within the scientific community can or want to try to explain them. Also, which I found highly interesting, when they were discovered they were completely filled with water. Whether this was once salt water has not been disclosed, but I have personal suspicions as to how this water came to rest within these underground caverns. No fish were found within the caves, which many found odd. However, if you suspected that the waters be residual leftovers from a great flood, water from the great seas of Earth, then over time, salt levels would plummet and fish accustomed to sea water would have died. Who do you think built the Long U caves? The cave's existence hints towards a hidden history here on our planet, a history that we must unravel if we are ever to fully understand ourselves and our home.
He said something in there that was pretty interesting. You know what I mean? He was like, you know, whoever designed these caves also had to remove the stone that they hollowed it out with to build it up with and everything else. So not only did they design and make this thing look like that, but they also had to remove all the debris that it took to carve it out, right? So that makes me think back to the whole argument of, okay, was this done by hand or was this done by a piece of technology of theirs that they had that we have yet to discover? And it keeps making me lean towards a piece of technology that they had that we have yet to discover. You know what I mean? Or you just had that many people to where you could do all of these things that we've seen. You know what I mean? And that's not out of the realm of possibility, you know? But whew, that's a lot. And also still have to be prepared to protect your civilization and your people in the event of a threat of some type of war or something going on with another civilization, right? So all this goes hand in hand. I think we need to keep looking, and we're going to come across that technology. That's the side I lean towards. But y'all get at me in the comment section, man, and let me know what you thought of this video, these advanced pre-ruins possibly that were found in China. All right? It's your boy L. Stick around and stay tuned, man. Until next one, I'm gone. Peace.